getting to the newsy item that Pat wanted to talk about and that we will talk about is Dalvin Cook finally being released from the Vikings, making Alexander Mattison the presumed starting running back there. Cook, by the way, in this age of dissecting and analyzing every player's social media post, Dalvin Cook's first Instagram post, I don't know if you know this guy, after the release, was him at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. So that, hey,
what was he doing there?
He looked like he was celebrating a win, maybe, as a Viking. It's hard to say, but it's, he's from South Florida. He's in South Florida, as you mentioned.
Went to school in Florida as well.
Right. Many are saying that that's his home, and so he might be interested in joining the Dolphins. I guess my first thought about this whole situation is Mattison, right? I said on Twitter the other day that now Mattison is kind of undraftable. What do you think, Kyle?
Where do you think his ADP falls? Because I don't think I think there will be some skepticism around his, no one is coming out here and saying Madison's this great back. He's not Tony Pollard, right? We're not doing the thing where we're like, if Mattison only got more touches, he'd be great. The thing, I think everyone generally believes that Mattison is exciting because every time we saw him play more than 15 snaps last year, it's because he was playing 100% of snaps.
Right.
It's his whole career. As Dalvin Cook's out, he gets every single touch and puts up a ton of fantasy points because, it's like the way we saw the Saints use guys off the street in lieu of Alvin Kamara when he was hurt. They did that in this team too.
Yeah.
I think most people generally agree that he's not this exciting backup talent that we were desperate to get any touches for. We specifically thought we could get all of the touches under the right circumstances. I'm going to have him as a mid RB2. I feel like that's roughly where the market will settle. If he goes as high as 15, 16, at that point, I could see that happening. I don't think it's awfully likely, but at that point, I'd be entirely out. I wouldn't get that close there. I think in my latest update to my rankings, I'm going to have him at RB 19 or 20. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Right now on Underdog, and again, I don't really know how reflective Underdog ADP is compared to what you're going to see in your home league draft. I would think it's not all that similar, but that's the data we have right now. Mattison is going as RB21 right after Miles Sanders and Dameon Pierce, which kind of sounds about right to me. But I mean,
it's going to keep going up, though. It's going to keep going up. But this is 2 days. It's 2 days after he's been, cut, or after Cook's been cut. This is the floor for him. It's going up.
And we're going to see. I mean, we can anticipate these things because we've been through this whole song and dance before, where a team has a brand new lead back and the coaches want to talk him up and beat writers want to ask about him and what he can and can't do. We're going to get a flood of quotes over the next, 2 weeks, say, about from Vikings coaches and players saying, we trust Alexander Mattison as our 3-down back. We trust him pass blocking, pass catching, goal line work, everything. You're going to get that hype, right? And he is going to eventually, I believe, get above Pierce, get above Miles Sanders, maybe get above J.K. Dobbins into the Joe Mixon range. I think that's a little rich. I would start looking for ways to leverage that in looking at other Vikings running backs who might have a role or might take over if Mattison misses time this year.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, okay, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.